The silver has dried and the color is gone in the grayest garden that ever saw dawn. I'm walking through roses made of the dust, past the iron gates and the gates of the rust. Every flower I touch falls apart in the hand, the silent queen of a crumbling land. It's the ash garden, silent and pale, where the ghost of the spirit is starting to fail. A stagnant beauty in the powder and gray, watching the version of me blow away. Nothing is living, but nothing is dead, just the heavy remains of the things that I said. Tried to plant seeds in the calcified floor, but the earth doesn't want to grow anymore. It's a harvest of cinders, a garden of bone, the quietest place that I've ever known. I'm breathing in soot and I'm breathing in smoke, on the heavy perfume of the words that I spoke. The silver has dried in. Don't move too fast, don't breathe too deep. There are secrets in me that I'm trying to keep. But the skin is like paper, the heart is like glass, watching the heavy-footed shadows pass. I'm dried by the fire, I'm thin by the cold. 1,000-year story that's already old. I'm brittle as a bone, I'm fragile as thread, living in the space between the still and the dead. A stagnant weakness, a delicate weight, caught in the teeth of a permanent fate. If you reach for my hand, I might turn into dust in the gray architecture of a broken trust. The marrow is empty, the fountain is dry. I'm a hollowed out bird in a hollowed out sky. I've given it all to the mercury well, and now I am only a calcified shell. One little whisper, one little spark is enough to shatter my place in the dark. I'm brittle as a bone. I'm brittle as a bone. used to be sharp, and it used to be bright, a violent blue in the middle of the night. But the edges are soft, and the ink is run thin, turning to gray underneath the skin. It's a tired emotion, a worn-out dress, the silent remains of a heavy distress. It's the grayest shade of a blue you've ever seen, covering the was and the could have been, a stagnant horizon, a faded view, losing the memory of anything new. I'm painting the walls with the ghost of a tear, in the quietest color of a long ago fear. The sky isn't black, and the sky isn't white, just a permanent twilight without any light. I'm walking through shadows of a muted tone, feeling the weight of being alone. No more fire and no more ice, just the grayest part of a heavy pride. It used to be sharp. The pulse didn't stop, it just turned into stone, a pillar of salt in a body of bone. I'm touching the center of the heavy chest, where the ghosts of the feelings have gone to rest. It doesn't beat fast and it doesn't beat slow, it's just a monument to a long ago. It's the calcified heart, hard and gray, with the warmth in the water half withered away. A stagnant sculpture in the middle of a chest, finding a cold and a permanent rest. You can't make it bleed, you can't make it feel, it's stronger than iron and harder than steel. You'd find a gravestone in the center of the world, a jagged reminder of a winter of pain that survived the fire and the mercury rain. It's a heavy protection, a rigid shield against the emotions that I'll never heal. on my knees in the middle of the yard, looking for a piece that isn't so hard. A scrap of a ribbon or a lock of the hair, searching for the version of me that was there. But everything's burnt and everything's fine in the grayest part of the design. Now I'm sifting through cinders, I'm digging through dust, undo the layers of the ash and the rust. A stagnant search for a glimmer of light in the charcoal remains of a long ago night. My hands are all gray and my spirit is thin, watching my memories blow in the wind. I found a small button, I found the black key, but they don't belong to the version of me. They're relics of someone I used to know, buried in the soot of a heavy no. I'm cleaning the ashes from the ghost of a smile, stopping to rest for a little while. Sifting through cinders, scattered, never bloom. Trees are all standing, the branches are wide, with nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. But the leaves are all stone and the bark is all gray, a forest that never will wither away. They don't need the water, they don't need the sun. Now that the breathing is finally done, it's the petrified forest, tall and still, rising from the dust of a broken will. A stagnant monument to the years of the cold, a story of timber that's already old. I'm walking through giants made of the ash, waiting for the silence to finally cry. If I leaned against them, they wouldn't bend, like a promise of a lover or the word of a friend. They're frozen in time, they're trapped in the gray, watching the light of the world decay. I'm a small little shadow in the middle I took the silver and I let it dry under the weight of the charcoal sky. Now every breath is a puff of the dust, replacing the air with the ash and the rust. My chest is a chimney, my throat is a flue, choking on the version of me that was true. I'm breathing with the gray lung, heavy and thin, watching my spirit blow out on the wind. A stagnant collection of soot and the smoke, the silent remains of the words that I spoke. I'm a hollowed out vessel, a powder-filled shell, living in the center of a calcified cell. No more water and no more blood, just the dry residue of a frozen flood. I'm processing shadows, I'm inhaling the dark, smothering the heat of the very last spark. One little cough and I'm scattered away into the rhythm of the permanent grave. Settled, Nyara blue. Settled, Nyara blue. Settled, Nyara blue. I'm breathing with the bright light. Settled, settled, Nyara blue, Nyara blue, Nyara blue, Nyara blue. Settled, Nyara blue. Settled, 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 Nyara blue. Settled, 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 Nyara blue. Settled. I built a way back to the land of the living, with all of the pieces that weren't quite forgiven. A walkway of parchment, a railing of lace, stretched across the gap of the empty space. But the edges are charred and the fibers are thin, unable to hold the weight of the skin. It's a paper bridge over a valley of stone, the loneliest path that I've ever known. A stagnant attempt to find a way home, under the weight of a charcoal dome. One little step and the surface will tear, leaving me hanging in a hollow air. All faded, the words are all blurred, the saddest message the world never heard. I'm treading so lightly, I'm holding my breath above the garden of a calcified death. But the bridge is made of the things I let burn, to a place where I can never return. It's a paper bridge over a valley of stone. Your receded and left me behind, a crest on the surface of a stagnant mind, a whitewashed image of the girl I was, fixed to the floor for no other because then the salt of the tears and the salt of the sea is all that is left of the version of me. I'm a silhouette of salt, bitter and white, shining like a ghost in the middle of night, a stagnant reminder of a long ago flood, the calcified remains of the heavy blood. I'm etched in the stone, I'm part of the grain, the permanent mark of a temporary pain. You can't wash me off, and you can't wipe me away. I'm the mineral truth of a gray-colored day. I'm sharp to the touch and I'm cold to the bone, the hardest shadow that was ever shown. I'm a crystalline memory, a bittersweet stain, waiting for the end of the mercury rain. Crystallized Nyara bloom. Spin me around in the powder and gray, before the last of the light fades away. The garden is quiet, the trees are all stone, but I'm finally learning to dance on my own. One step in the cinders, two steps in the dust, moving through the layers of the ash and the rust. It's the ash waltz, heavy and slow, with nowhere to stay and nowhere to go. A stagnant circle in the middle of the night, in the brayest part of the shadow and light. I'm dancing with ghosts, I'm dancing with bone, in the beautiful garden of the unknown. Made of smoke and the shoes are made of lead, carrying the weight of the things that were said. We're turning in circles, we're drifting like soot, with a heavy heart and a heavy weighted foot. The music is ancient, the music